Happening now, a Jamestown family escaping a house fire early this morning. The latest from the scene, and a neighbor who witnessed this whole ordeal. Plus, local workers are being hailed heroes this hour following a daring water rescue on the Chautauqua River.
Well, the rain has finally stopped for now, but we are going to see a couple rounds of a few scattered showers coming our way this week. We'll talk about it in detail next as the News at Noon starts now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Those living on William Street in Jamestown are describing the daring escape from an overnight house fire. Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. The Jamestown Fire Department was dispatched to the blaze around 12:20 this morning. Neighbor Shirley Menard, who lives in a nearby apartment for the past 20 years, was awakened by her cat to this commotion outside. Menard spoke with us this morning and recounted the daring escape of several children living inside the structure, which has since been destroyed by flames. She says it was frightening to see children jump out of a second-floor window, escaping that blaze.
If I were a little child and had been living in that house and was woken up because of that, I would have nightmares, I think, for a long time, because it was devastating.
Now, several people, including the children, were taken to UPMC Chautauqua Hospital. However, it's unclear what the extent of their injuries are. A dog and 2 cats did, however, perish in the blaze. And new this hour, 3 Jamestown area men are being hailed heroes following a daring river rescue this morning. Esmeralda Del Camp, Dean Bernard, and Mike Campbell all arrived at work at Blackstone Nate Ultrasonics this morning at about 6:30 a.m. in Brooklyn Square. They heard a man yelling for help from the nearby Chautauqua River. The 3 immediately jumped into action as their co-worker Patty called 911, running across the Main Street Bridge and grabbing onto the man.
When I got a hold of him, so I wouldn't let it go, and I told him, I says, I got you, I'm not gonna let you go. And then Dean come and he helped me grab a hold of his arm, and he was able to grab a hold of both of them. And then Mike come around and he was able to help Dean, and then I reached down and I grabbed his leg to pull his leg up. Yeah. And all 3 of us couldn't pull him out because it was so far down the concrete wall.
Now, once police arrived there, they were able to pull him back to shore. In the end, the trio are just happy to be at the right place at the right time. The man was taken to UPMC Chautauqua Hospital. However, we don't have any more details at this hour. We will continue to provide updates as we can. Now, the water, the 3 say, was extremely cold this morning, and that likely played a factor in the rescue. Well, New York State Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is teaming up with those in the restaurant industry to create a bill that would give $60 billion to independent restaurants impacted by the pandemic. WNY News Now's Jason Ruttman hearing more now.
Dubbed the Restaurant Revitalization Fund Replenishment Act of 2021, New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is joining restaurateur Tom Colicchio to create the legislation that gives funds to the Small Business Administration, who would then award relief money to approved applicants. So far, there have been approximately 362,000 applicants. Less than 1/3 of them have received funding to help keep their restaurant doors open.
We're actually talking people off the ledge right now. This is serious. People's life work, they're watching it, they're hanging on as desperately as they can. And they're looking at these bills that they have to pay, and they have no way out.
The restaurant industry employs roughly 10% of New Yorkers and is valued at $51.6 billion. On top of that, the majority of those working in the industry are people of color, formerly incarcerated people, and immigrants.
All the applications that are currently in, the $60 billion will cover everybody.
Further showing the importance of the legislation, the bill is both bipartisan and bicameral.
There's 12 bipartisan senators on the bill, And then in the House, there's 188 in the House, led by Blumenauer and Fitzpatrick. So it's bicameral and bipartisan. And I believe that if this can be voted on in any of the must-pass bills, it will pass.
Restaurants that have closed in the past year can also get funding from this legislation in an effort to reopen. Jason Ruttman, WNY News Now.
Jason, thank you. Well, 2 bridges in Cattaraugus County have officially been renamed in memory of Vietnam War heroes. Bills sponsored by State Senator George Borrello were signed into law by Governor Andrew Cuomo. The acts rename bridges on Interstate 86 in honor of Randolph area Vietnam War heroes Corporal William James Hillard and Sergeant David Lockwood. Corporal Hillard was killed in action in 1969, while Sergeant Lockwood passed away in 2018.
We want our children to understand what it means, the sacrifice and what it means to be an American, and that our freedom is truly not free. And having these roadways and bridges and other monuments named after our war heroes is an opportunity for families to start a discussion. Whether when they see that sign that memorializes someone who's given their life.
Now, the heroes have both received numerous honors, including the Good Conduct Medal, the Vietnam Service Medal, and 2 Bronze Stars medals. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments down below, or simply say hello. We always love to hear from you. It's great to see Steve joining us on the live stream. Good to see Donna, Amy, and Linda as well. Hopefully you all are having a great day out there. And it's been a busy time in the weather office. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us now in studio with more on the calmer weather, which I think we're going to get to see this weekend. But boy, this past weekend has been really tough for many people.
Yeah, I mean, we had the rain. I mean, it started on Friday afternoon, and then it just kept raining all the way through Saturday. And of course, we'll show you the rainfall totals that we had. It is amazing, the rainfall totals that we had. You're going to be surprised how much rain came down over the weekend. But right now, we don't have any rain falling. Thank goodness. It finally stopped raining. Just a few clouds starting to move in. 77 with no wind there to speak of in Findlay Lake. The satellite and radar composite, this is running in a loop over the past several hours, and it'll show the same thing. Basically nothing. Now, there is a little caveat in the satellite imagery in the fact that there is some wildfire smoke drifting into the region from the fires out west. We'll show you that on the satellite imagery with a special satellite layer that will help to show you the wildfire smoke better. So stay tuned for that, because really interesting stuff. 75 was the high yesterday. Started the day at 60, 95, and 43 are the record highs and lows for this day. So through the afternoon, partly to mostly sunny. It's going to be humid out there, so keep that in mind. With a high ultraviolet index, the UV index is at an 8 today, so sunscreen recommended if you're going to be outdoors for any length of time today. 75 to 83 with a northwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, we do see a couple isolated showers through the week, but no really big heat in sight. We'll talk about it in just a few minutes. Justin?
All right, much needed relief, it seems like, coming for many, and we'll be talking about it much more coming up in about 10 minutes' time. We'll see you then, Dakota. Nearly 63,000 citizens of Chautauqua County have been inoculated against COVID-19, and that number continues to rise. According to state data, just over 49% of the county has received at least one jab, with 45% having both doses. In the past 7 days, 463 more people got their first shot, while 449 got their second. Overall, 58% of adults ages 18 and up in Chautauqua County have received at least one dose, compared to 73% statewide. Nearly 60% of all New Yorkers are vaccinated now. 67% of adults that are at least 18 years and up have gotten both doses of the vaccine. Well, COVID cases are on the rise nationwide, and so is misinformation about the vaccines. But as Britt Conway reports, battling that misinformation has become a battle in of itself.
We have a life-saving vaccine that can put this pandemic in the rearview mirror.
And yet, the CDC shows the vaccination rate has slowed drastically, even though fewer than 57% of people 12 and up are fully vaccinated. And cases are going up in nearly every state as the Delta variant spreads across the country. Health experts say misinformation and myths about the vaccines are also spreading through some areas of the country.
It's having a real cost that can be measured in lives lost.
We have to get the information out there that it is safe and effective, that I'd rather have the vaccine than the virus, and that we need people to get the vaccine.
But the best way to battle misinformation depends on who you ask. The White House has called out social media, specifically Facebook, as a breeding ground for false information. Facebook is pushing back and getting some support.
We can't be dictating to these platforms what is misinformation and what is not misinformation.
There are those who blame fellow politicians for vaccine hesitancy.
I would rather see us Fauci or Florida than have people go through death by DeSantis.
And politicians who say doctors, nurses, and community leaders need to step up grassroots efforts.
We know that this is going to be a person by person, shot by shot, conversation by conversation situation from now to the end.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Britt, thank you. Coming up here, a lot more to tell you about a Jamestown woman facing charges related to a stabbing over the weekend, what we know about the police investigation, and later how COVID lockdowns are impacting drug overdoses. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Located along the Amish Trail, the Randolph Retail Company offers a variety of clothing, jewelry, and gifts for any occasion. Offering uptown merchandise at small-town prices, our locally owned business balances quality and value. With complimentary gift wrap here at the Randolph Retail Company, we pride ourselves in personal service. Check out our Facebook page or stop in today at 127 Main Street, Randolph, just a 20-minute drive from Jamestown.
Have the best summer ever with endless adventures at Girl Scout Summer Camp. Financial aid available, open to all girls. For more information, call or go to gswny.org.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
A 28-year-old Jamestown woman is facing charges following last night's stabbing on the city's east side. Jamestown police responded to an apartment on East 2nd Street around 5:40 p.m. Following an investigation, officers alleged that Rachel Menoff entered the apartment, brandished a large knife, and then stabbed the victim in a hand, causing a large laceration. Menoff then allegedly ran into a different apartment within that complex prior to officers' arrival. While inside the apartment, they say she attempted to wash the victim's blood off the knife. She was taken into custody a short time later without incident. Menoff is charged with first-degree burglary, second-degree assault, and fourth-degree criminal possession of a weapon, along with tampering with physical evidence. Officers report she was taken to Jamestown City Jail pending arraignment in the case. Well, drug overdose deaths in the U.S. hit the highest number ever recorded last year. That according to new data from the CDC. And experts say it's no coincidence the grim record was reached during the pandemic. Mandy Gaither with a closer look in today's Health Minute.
It's a grim milestone. In 2020, more than 93,000 people died from drug overdoses, nearly a 30% increase, hitting the highest number ever recorded by the CDC in a 12-month period.
It's just a horrible tragedy, compounding the tragedy of the pandemic.
Inappropriate use of opioids was behind most of the overdose deaths, and some experts believe it's no coincidence this record was reached in 2020.
We know that the pandemic caused so much stress, trauma, grief, and that contributed to the desperation people feel, the use of drugs, and ultimately to overdose.
Dr. Joshua Sharfstein with Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health says other factors include the drug supply destabilizing, allowing fentanyl to continue to take over in different parts of the country, and the pandemic made it hard to get drug treatment and services.
We know things that work for addiction and overdose, and we need to do more of them. We need to invest in those strategies in order to see the results.
Dr. Sharfstein says there also needs to be a focus on minorities disproportionately affected by both COVID-19 and drug overdoses.
Communities of color are being hit very hard with the steepest rise in the number of overdose deaths, and I think that is linked to the pandemic.
But Dr. Sharfstein says with pandemic recovery, there's hope. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Mandy, thank you. The CDC data shows overdose deaths from opioids rose from nearly 51,000 in 2019 to close to 70,000 last year. Well, with just days to go until the opening ceremonies in the Tokyo, another Olympic athlete has tested positive for coronavirus. This time, a second member of the women's artisan gymnastics team. Officials have yet to identify the athlete. They say she's not showing any symptoms and is currently quarantining in her room. The teen tested positive yesterday. Another gymnast has been identified as a close contact to her. On Monday, officials announced the number of COVID cases linked to the 2020 Olympic Games has now risen to 61. It's rising fears that the Games, which start this Friday, could turn into a global super spreader event. Well, years after starting as a mail-order movie rental service, Netflix changed its whole business model and became the world's most dominant streaming service. Well, now they're changing things up again, adding video games to the menu. According to Bloomberg, Netflix will offer video games on its service within the next year. Games will appear as a new genre on the platform, like documentaries and stand-up specials. Bloomberg reports Netflix doesn't plan on charging extra for access to the games, too. Adding games could be really important for them, with increasing competition from rival streaming platforms like Disney+, NBC's Universal's Peacock as well. Certainly, yeah, it's a tough game out there. Thank you for choosing us as your streaming service. So let us know what you think about that story and more in the comment section down below. That's the thing. We've talked about this a couple times, Dakota, about the fact that there are so many streaming services out there. It's almost worse than cable, where you pay, $100 a month for cable. Well, now you're paying, in some cases, well over $100 a month to subscribe to some of these things.
Well, for me personally, I'm going to stick with my Xbox Game Pass.
Yep.
For me personally, so that's what I'm going to stick with. But
it'd be interesting to see how they roll that out. I mean, are they going to send you they don't even have DVD discs, and you can still get them for
right.
But
I know there's a lot of console gamers out there who prefer discs over the digital download, mainly because the discs seem to be cheaper than the digital download versions. But a lot of games now, I think, are really pushing towards the digital aspect. The most popular game that people play now is the Call of Duty Warzone,
right?
And that's all digital, obviously, because it's multiplayer. So, I don't know, but, it's going to be interesting to see how the games are going to work. Are they going to have PC games and console games?
I don't think they could have, because some PC games, I know Steam is really big.
Yeah.
I was just talking about this last night, actually, where you can, subscribe and download games on your computer. You buy them, they're yours forever. They're in the cloud. You can read-down them if you get a new computer, which is nice. But it's the same thing with you get a disc,
but
right?
with this, is it going to be like a rental thing?
Right.
Where after a certain amount of time you have to give it up.
Right.
Where it's with Xbox Game Pass, and I think also the same way on the PSN network, where if you subscribe to their monthly service, like on the Game Pass, because I'm an Xbox guy, so I know more about the Xbox than the PlayStation.
Right.
But on Xbox, it's every month they add free games onto the Game Pass. And if there's a game you like, you download it to your console for free, and even when it gets removed off Game Pass, it's yours to keep forever.
Right.
So,
very interesting, nevertheless. Good to see Cindy. Good to see Seth. Pam and Lisa. Hopefully you all are having a great day. We appreciate you tuning in. Donna, we thank you so much for that comment. Always love to provide you local news. It's really our pleasure. And we've been busy.
We're just public servants.
Sure.
That's all we are.
Yeah, that's what we try to do. And we can't do it without you. And this morning, we were just talking about this. We got so many videos and so many pictures of the weather over the weekend. But one of my favorite shots came from our buddy David in Northwest PA this morning. Beautiful, beautiful sunrise out there. So
yes, it was. Let's take it and we'll show it to you. This was the sunrise this morning, and now it looks very vibrant. And the reason for that is because I told you during the first weather segment, there actually is wildfire smoke coming in from the western wildfires. Now it's way up in the atmosphere to cause any real issues, but I'll show it to you on the satellite imagery here because it's really interesting how the jet stream can do this. So my local WX is the hashtag you use to send us stuff, and you can send it to us on Twitter. My handle is @HuntersWX, and the First Defense weather page on Facebook is how I send it to us. And you know, we got to talk about the rain over the weekend because it was absolutely crazy how much rain we had. Gary had almost 5 inches of rain. I'm actually going to step out of off the wall because I think this just speaks for itself. 3.44 inches at the airport, 3.14 in Falconer, 2.99 in Olean. So that is why we had all the flooding issues on top of the rain that we've had this month. The ground can't accept any more of that rainfall. So let's talk about the rainiest Julys ever in the history of the city of Jamestown, going back to 1895. That's when records started being kept. Look at where we're at so far. 11.70 inches. The old record was 9.12. It's not even close anymore, folks. The third rainiest was in 1938, but who cares? I mean, the rest of these don't matter. When you have over 10 inches of rain in a month, not even halfway through the month, it's ridiculous. And something that also became an issue was the Chattacoin River. There's a river flow gauge on the Chattacoin River at Falconer on Bow Street, and this is called a hydrograph. It shows you water cresting, and that peak right there on Saturday, 4.82 feet was the water level on Saturday. That's why the Chattacoin River was running really high, and it's still high right now. 3.79 is the current water level, but we think, we're not sure on this, we think this could be an all-time crest record for the Chattacoin River. We're trying to confirm that, but as of right now, it seems like it is a record crest for the Chattacoin River. Unbelievable. Right now, we have some clouds filtering in. 74 as a noon hour right now. It's dry, but the humidity up there, 64 degrees is the current humidity level. So you're going to feel it as you walk out there today. And we're still going to keep the humid air in place through at least mid this week. Then as we go into the later part of the week, the humidity levels will start to drop off here. Satellite and radar composite shows you a big dome of high pressure sitting over the northeast, but this right here is the wildfire smoke. This is a special satellite imagery that shows you the wildfire smoke better. And all of this light stuff, this is clouds up here behind the banner. This is clouds. This is wildfire smoke. This is coming in from the fires out west that are out in Oregon and other parts of the west. There's wildfires going on out there, and the jet stream pulling that wildfire smoke in. So it's really interesting to see now. It's way up in the atmosphere to not cause any health issues, but it will cause vibrant sunsets and vibrant sunrises in a skies. So get out and look at those sunsets and sunrises if you can. Future scan's running, but not showing you anything through the day. Now tonight, mainly clear. We'll see a few clouds coming in for tomorrow. Now tomorrow, weather should be mainly partly sunny, but there will be a small chance of afternoon pop-up showers and thunderstorms through the southern tier tomorrow afternoon. And then as we head into Wednesday, the weather not too bad, but we will see again a few scattered showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday, but none of this widespread rain stuff that we had over the weekend. So the temperatures through the inland areas today, likely upper 70s. Some spots may get close to that 80 degrees, but don't forget your sunscreen, that UV index, really up there today. Next 7 days of your life, 82 tomorrow, morning shower on Wednesday, turns better for the afternoon. Cooler and more refreshing air returns for the second half of the week going into the weekend. And both weekend days, not a washout, but there will be a couple scattered showers around. We'll take a break. Be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
After a tough year for families due to the pandemic, Toys for Tots and the Chautauqua County Resource Center are already getting to work early this year collecting toys for the Christmas holiday. WNY News Now's Julia Gress joining us live in studio with more on this. Hey, Julia.
Hey, Justin. The two groups are hosting 2 separate Christmas in July toy drives this weekend. Independent Service Coordinator Patrick Smeraldo is first holding a craft fair at Lucille Ball Park in Celeron from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on Saturday. In addition to collecting toys that will be distributed this winter, there will be a Christmas book signing and a chicken barbecue sale. Later in the evening, the celebration moves to Dietrich Park for a Christmas-themed Tarp Skunks game where toys and cash donations are encouraged. Smeraldo explains the impact COVID had on the demand for Toys for Tots and why it's so important this year.
Toys for Tots was also increased heavily because of the economic challenges that people faced. We went from, mid 2,000 families to mid 4,000 families. A lot more people needed help.
The game starts at 7 p.m. with tickets starting at just $5.
All right, Julia. And speaking of those tickets, Patrick dropped off a few of them to us today, so we want to offer them to you, our viewers. All we're asking you to do is bring a toy, not to us, but to the game this weekend. We're going to leave these for you outside of our news studio. We're going to have them on a stool out there. So all we want you to do, if you want these, comment in the show right now. Send us a hand or a wave, or I'll take some, and we will leave them outside 21 East 3rd Street. We are at Suite 210, so all you got to do is come in the front door, down where Fringe Hair is, up the stairs, and we'll leave them for you. And we'll pitch this throughout the week too. Get it? Pitch. I'm funny. We'll pitch this throughout
Justin will
the
be
week.
Here all week, folks.
I know. It's
so
great.
Here's the question: are we eligible?
No.
Yeah, can we get these?
We cannot. We did this a while ago where we gave away comedy show tickets, if you guys remember, and this was last year. And
well, can I enter anyway?
We are not eligible as employees of WNY.
Come on, everyone loves a good baseball game.
Or our relatives, so sorry, Mom, can't get tickets. But you guys in the comment section, go ahead, let us know, and stop down anytime after 1 o'clock today through Saturday. We'll have them for you. To take, just be kind with your, if you got a family of 4, go ahead and take 4 tickets. AB, come on down. We'd love to see you. Good to see Pam. Good to see Jake, Diane, as well. Hopefully you all are having a great day. And it's really incredible to see, Julia, I think the need that we have in this community. It sounds like Smeraldo and his crew really have seen demand go up if they're collecting already.
Yeah, so many people were affected and, just staying at home for so long and, having toys for these kids who might not be able to have them otherwise is something to really get them jump back into, kind of the normalcy, especially as we head to school, have their mental health kind of be focused on as well.
Right, absolutely. And I know our friend Patrick will have a lot more to tell, too, coming up as he works on several initiatives across Chautauqua County and keeping us updated. So, Julia, thank you for that. And that's going to do it for us today. We'll leave you with this live look over Chautauqua Lake. Thanks so much for tuning in. The news does continue 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com and on our mobile app. It's free. Just search WNY News Now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. We're back here tomorrow. See you then.